Welcome back to the Mid-Year Mitch YouTube channel. Today's episode, we're jumping back into the 65 Corvette. I'm going to talk about some changes that we've made because it's not really going to look like a 65 Corvette anymore. It's going to look a little more like a 63 Split. So be sure to stick around. So I don't know if you guys noticed in the last video, but these doors on this car are not the doors that I showed you in a previous video. They have a raised pad here and they do not have fiberglass right here. These are a very specific type of door. So we have changed our plans on this car quite a bit. I'm going to use some different parts that I wasn't intending on. And also, we have two very large crates outside that just showed up. So we have two very large crates here from the one and only Dynamic Corvettes. So we've changed our plans up a little bit since we've last talked. So I talked with the owner of the car and we decided to make some changes. We have a new front end in here. And over in this box, we have a nice yellow roof. So you remember on this 65, it had a lot of damage right in this area. Well, it also had damage by the rear window. And I talked to him and I was like, it's really not going to be a lot more work to put another top on it rather than using the top that's on it. I was like, if you want to change it, now's the time. So if you look over here, I don't know how well you can see, but there's actually two windows in the back of this top. And this guy over here on the front end has some gills. And then there's a taillight panel somewhere in here. There's a taillight panel here with 3 taillights on each side. So we have changed up our plans drastically. I'm gonna go ahead and get these things out of the box. Hopefully the wind doesn't interrupt this video too much, but we got all the stuff out of the boxes and we have a brand new reproduction split window rear deck and roof. And a lot of people have wondered about, I know Stinger used to make these as well, about why this notch is so big. It's because it needs to release from the mold and it comes with these little filler pieces that you need to trim off of, and then you just glue this little guy in there, and I guess that's how they did it originally as well. But this is a really beautiful piece. This is in like their 63 color, which is like the ivory fiberglass. Then we have a custom taillight panel here with an extra set of taillights. So we have 6. This is their custom taillight panel that they offer. And then we have a wide front end here. So this is, I'll have to look back at the numbers, I think like an inch and a half or something wider than the original front end, which kind of comes in this area here. But it's a really nice piece. I've never installed one, so it'll be fun to check that out. And then it seams in on these little like bonding strips here with the gills. So we're gonna have 63 gills on it. We have some splash shields here, which I believe are for the wide quarter panels. We have some filler pieces here for the wide front end and some more filler pieces in here. So we've got a good bit of fiberglass. I already have a set of quarter panels, they're wide quarter panels to go with this already in the shop that came with the car. So we've got a lot of fiberglass now. It's basically a build your own Corvette kit in a box minus the doors. Like this is basically going to be a dynamic Corvette whenever it's done, minus the firewall, floor, and the doors. So I guess it's time to get all this stuff inside, figure out where we're going to put it, and get back to work on the car. But I'm excited to give this guy a try. It looks like it's really nice quality. They really pride themselves on how smooth their finishes are, how nice and flat their molds are. And it's a nice thickness through here. Just gonna need probably just a little bit of trimming and refining where some of the flashing is, but they give you a nice solid base to work off of. And this also has the inner structure already inside of it, so that'll save me some time. But yeah, we got some nice stuff to work with here, and we've got a lot of work to do. So I have the roof in the shop now, and just look at the way this thing shines. Look at the reflection of that banner, which, by the way, if you haven't already, check out Full Blown Chaos down in Florida. If you need restoration work done, check Mike out. But look at that, like perfect. You could put a dollar bill in here, read the serial number off of it. But look at this. It also has the inner structure that I talked about in here. It's a very nice uniform piece. and they pride themselves on their surface finish, and I can totally see why. So this piece is absolutely stunning, and I have another top up there that'll be another car one day. But I have the front end up there, and I have some of the other parts kind of scattered about here. But we decided to change the plans on this car. I took the car apart. You saw the video where I removed all the fiberglass off of it, and I was talking with the owner, and he was a little concerned about some of the damage that was down, or I guess it was on the passenger side, down in this area here. And I said, well, we can fix that, but you know, it may come back at some point. And there was also damage in this area, and it was hard to tell the extent of the damage because there's this panel on the back, so you really couldn't get an idea of how bad it was here. And I said, well, the top's, it's already removed. I mean, if you want to change it, now's the time to do it. It's not going to be any extra work or labor to swap on a new top versus that top. It'll actually save time because then I won't have to make those repairs. He can use that on another car, but he decided, why don't we just go with one of the dynamic ones that they just started reproducing like a year ago or so. So he decided to order one of these, and he decided to go full on crazy with this car with the wide front end, wide quarter panels, and 6 taillights. Then he asked, what will your viewers think if we make this thing into a 63 basically? So this is going to be the tribute split is what I'm going to call this car, because it's still 65, but it has 63 only doors on it. It's going to have a split roof, and it's just going to be kind of a wild resto mod. It's still going to be on a Roadster Shop chassis. All that stuff is the same, but we're changing the whole look of the car. So, I mean, I think a lot of people would be upset if we made a wide body 6 taillight 63 split. Some people would want it to be more original, which I kind of agree, but I don't think anybody's going to care if we do that to a 65. So that ended up being the deciding factor of what to do with this car, because now's the time to change it. I didn't start birdcage work really, so I was able to switch the doors out. Whenever I build bird cages, I like to use the exact doors that we're going to use the whole way through, just to make sure that if there's any bias in the door, we're taking that into account with the bird cage. So I kind of tailor everything together with the doors. So that ended up working out well timing-wise, and Dynamic got us this stuff like a week later after he ordered them. So shout out to those guys. They made an awesome product, and they got it to us super quick. So it'll be a little while till we mess with this, but I just wanted to give you guys an update, let you know what's going on with the bird cage. I'm in the middle of welding it together, and we decided to put on a full new windshield frame from a Roadster onto this. It's jig built, it's all ready to rock. So that takes some of the guesswork out, and all the work we did in the video before this isn't in vain. All that showed that there was damage in different areas that we corrected. So all that stuff needed to happen to get this to be where it is today. But this just kind of simplifies the process and makes the product just that much better. So I still have to come through and weld the roof together, and I still have to manipulate the B-pillars a little bit to get them to line up. But right now, the windshield frame is fully welded to the cowl, and I started welding on the roof structure to the windshield frame. So I have some more welding to do here. It'll just take a little while. I just need to tack the B-pillars in place, and of course, the doors I had, every single one of them had a latch in them. But then I go grab these two 63 doors, and neither of these have latches in them. So I got to go back to the storage facility and get latches so I can actually make sure that these doors are functioning properly. So I'm probably just going to tack these in place. We'll check the latches, and if we need to move them, we'll move them. But I just want this cage locked down where I think it needs to be, so it doesn't move or anything like that. But so far, it's going really well. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on this side of it and talk about how excited I am to be able to put this top on this thing. This is going to be a completely different car now. It's going to be pretty cool. You guys are going to have to stick around for the process. So shout out to the guys at Dynamic Corvette who make a beautiful product and a really good crate. I can't wait to combine it with a Roadster Shop chassis. I'm sure someone out there in the comments is going to be annoyed that we're taking this split window roof and putting it on a 65, but at the end of the day, people really want split windows, and they reproduce all the glass for the back and all the trim and now the top. So, I mean, anybody can make a split window. A lot of people cut them out for years to make split windows into big window cars, and now it's going the other direction. So I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it'll be a cool tribute whenever it's done. And this is the car that he wants. He's the guy that owns the car. So at the end of the day, he can do whatever he wants. So I think it's going to be a sweet build. Hopefully you guys think so too. But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. That really helps my channel, especially as we're getting close to 10,000 subscribers. I really wanted to have this video be about finishing up the birdcage, but just with some of the changes that we've made throughout that didn't really slow us down, but that just kind of changed the direction of progress. And this cage work takes a long time, and this is the foundation of the car that you want to make sure you get right the first time. So taking a little extra time just to make sure it's dialed in. But once we get into the fiberglass stuff, we'll start cruising. It's just a little easier. The actual work on the cage isn't that hard to knock out because it's just welding. The welding is not that hard. It's all the trial, fitting, tweaking, adjusting, making sure everything works the way it's supposed to. That's what takes the longest. But the actual welding part just takes a couple hours. And then obviously the grinding is the fun part too. So I'll be getting into that in the next video. You guys will see a finished cage that'll hopefully be all painted, shiny, and ready for bonding strips and fiberglass. So as you can see, I have a lot of work to do, and I'll catch you guys later.